Good morning, saints. Pastor Bill, thank you for your heart. Thank you for your support of the ministry. And before I invite the choir to come up and minister, I just want to share with you quickly. You know, on Thursday that just passed, I was invited to speak at a prayer breakfast. And I'm sure that we're all aware of the strategy of the enemy on our nation. And our nation is calling it the opioid crisis. That in 2016, over 63,000 people in our nation died from drug overdose. Over 43,000 of them OD'd from opioids. When you look at what the enemy is doing, it's transforming a generation. Because in the generation that is coming up, what that says is they are more likely to die from a drug overdose than by a car accident or anything that traditionally would have taken life. You know, 63,000 lives, that's more people that died in the entire Vietnam conflict in 1 year through drugs. But thank God that God also has a strategy.
Amen.
Our founder, Pastor Dave Wilkerson, he said it like this. He said he doesn't deny the pull of drugs and alcohol. But in the ministry of Teen Challenge, we have found a pull that is greater than the pull of drugs and alcohol.
Amen.
And it's the power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so I would ask you, we have some information. There is a promo table that we have so that you can get some information about what God is doing through the ministry of Teen Challenge in Albany as well as worldwide. We are an international ministry. There are over 38,000 beds that represent the ministry of Teen Challenge. And this year in 2017, God did something in consolidating leadership within the state of New York. Some of you who have been around and know about the ministry and before, Albany Teen Challenge was established in 2005. Many pastors that I fellowship with said they would send people to Syracuse. Well, now Syracuse Teen Challenge, Buffalo Teen Challenge, Brooklyn Teen Challenge, the leadership has all been consolidated under the covering of Long Island Teen Challenge. And so now there's 350 beds that represent New York Teen Challenge. And so we're just grateful and thankful to God for what He is doing. It's a great experience that God has challenged me with when He sent me up here going on 7 years ago. And at that time, there was a transition in leadership in Albany Teen Challenge. The previous director had resigned, and we were looking for a new director for the ministry of Albany Teen Challenge. And after putting out feelers, there was no one who the leaders felt had the DNA. And so what we decided to do was we were going to start a rotation of leaders from Long Island Teen Challenge to cover the ministry until we found a director. And I was charged to be the first leader to come up for 6 weeks to make an assessment of the ministry and go back to Long Island and give a report to the leadership. And that 6 weeks now is going on 7 years. Amen. Because when God calls you, even though you may not know it, God knows it well. And He makes it evident to you what it is that He desires to accomplish in and through your lives. And I'm grateful for that, for my time. I've been serving in the ministry of Teen Challenge. I came in 2005. as a student. I graduated from Reersburg in 2006 and stayed on with the ministry, in my mind, in my thinking, to give back. But how many of us know you can never give back to God? Because of what God has done for you, it's impossible for us to give back to God. It would take all eternity and then some for me to give back to God. But God called me to this place, and I began to serve, and God began to make evident the call that He had placed on my life, and I'm thankful for my beautiful wife that He gave me in the ministry. Come on, baby, stand up. My daughter. Hallelujah. And so just some of the gifts that God will give us when we submit and commit our lives to serving Him. And so I am going to be quiet for a minute, and I'm going to invite the Albany Teen Challenge Co-Ed Choir to come. They are going to come and they are going to minister in song and in testimony.